Damas y caballeros, el día de hoy nos acompañan las Texas Sweethearts. Chicas, bienvenidas. ¿Cómo están?
Bien, gracias a Dios.
How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Inglés o español, porque aquí
de los
o
dos.
chino o French, lo que quieran. Aquí hablamos de todo.
Yeah, it's gonna
Spanglish.
It's gonna have to be both because that's how we roll.
No se preocupen. We cater to, as far as languages, nos acoplamos con todo. Y si no, siempre inventamos palabras aquí.
Nos funciona el pocho muy bien.
Oh, yeah. That's our specialty. ¿Cómo están?
Bien, bien.
Primero que nada, me gustaría...
Excited.
Vamos a presentarlas. ¿Tú te llamas?
Elisa de Hoyos.
Y yo soy Mari.
Mari.
Diana de Hoyos.
Y son familia todas ustedes, ¿verdad?
Yes.
Son hermanas.
Ellas son mis hijas.
¿Su hija?
Son mis hijas.
¿Sus
Yeah.
hijas? Wow. Yo pensé que eran hermanas las tres. Ando bien mal yo.
Thank you.
No, muy guapas. Felicidades.
Gracias.
Como mencionaba ahorita en la introducción, pues ustedes son un grupo de chicas que tocan música en eventos, en festivales.
Correcto.
Todo lo que es aquí en el Valley, ¿verdad? You're always playing different types of events.
For everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys ever recorded? Like, do you have any music out there, or you just do covers?
Some time back, we recorded the
was
family, and it
12.
was more so because we never imagined that something like that would be happening. And then when we did, I said, I mean, these are good memories.
Yeah.
For us, you know.
That's
So then we
awesome.
started on that project. So they were little. We would
There were
cater.
cassette tapes.
Yeah, there were cassette tapes at that time,
Yeah.
and we would
I have
cater.
a bunch of those at home.
Yes, we would play for the Winter Texans all over in the valley, and then during the summers we would travel up north, and so we did a lot of English music, country music
Wow.
for them. So
When
we
you
have
say up
that.
north, you went to go as migrant workers?
No,
to
no,
work,
we
or-
would take our music up there
To go play?
Yes,
Yeah.
to go play.
We're
was-
migrant musicians.
I tried doing that, pero según no, what's a long story, but I'm going to cut it short porque Jesse always gets bored with my stories. Siempre, I'm over here
Ya,
telling
ya me dio sueño.
Oh, yeah, I'm always over here all excited. You know, I just see him on the window like, like, come on, dude, move it on. It's about them, not about you. No, pero we, when we started a little band back in high school, según nosotros íbamos a ir up north to go play over there, to get gigs. Terminamos en la cebolla y en la espiga y en el asadón y todo. But it was good memories, man. Good times. Pero qué padre. So y'all would go up there and play like
Yes,
for different crowds? Like
well,
what type
we would play at a restaurant Monday. No, it was Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
And Winter Texans would go, and it was always packed. And they would invite us to go play up wherever they lived. And so, when are you going to Minnesota? When are you coming to Ohio? And finally, he said, let's go ahead and do it this time around. So wherever we ended up, we would call one of the Winter Texans information, and they would get us a place to stay and
place to
places
play.
to play at.
Wow.
And then
So at this point, you guys were playing as a band already, or is just
yes,
you?
it was
Family
a family
band.
band.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Mari and her Spanish Angels.
Wow.
So they were all little. You know,
Y
they
todas
were,
ahí. What did you play?
The accordion.
Accordion? You already.
Yeah.
How did you carry it? Like you were.
It was a little one. It was
wiggling.
a little Hunter piano
Ah,
accordion. I
okay.
started with
Era
that
la de
one.
Wally González.
Like Wally
yes,
González.
yes, pretty much
Wow.
so.
That's awesome.
So
So-
I recall those times. You know, she was very tiny, and she's always been the smallest one in her classroom, right? As she's been,
Still.
yeah, she
Oh,
still
yeah.
is. And so we would hold the accordion in the back so that she could, you know,
I
play
couldn't
it.
physically hold it up. My dad had
okay.
to hold
Yeah, we
the
would
accordion
pry it
behind me
up
when
here.
I was playing.
Wow.
And then one day I was able to.
Yeah.
That's
That was
cool.
awesome. I remember that.
Are
day. I was
there
like,
pictures or video of that?
We should have some pictures.
We
should
gotta
have
see
some pictures,
that
yeah.
so we can make Elisa go viral. Elisa, no, es que I know that nowadays they have like stands, right, where they can put the accordion. I know
I've seen it once or twice, and I'm like, what?
I was like, what?
Yeah, I know
Oh, they
Ricky.
have to
I've
have
seen it
it.
with Ricky from Intocable.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's.
Is
he's
it because he's playing another instrument at the same time,
No.
or is he like going
It's
back
laziness.
I think he's tired.
My accordion's
probably,
not
you
gonna
know.
go on the floor.
I'm not sure, pero dije, that's a new one. I mean, maybe he has back problems or something.
Maybe.
Pero qué interesante eso. You never told me about that. De eso.
Yeah,
Eso-
those
eso-
things.
Stories. lots
Sí,
of
pero
stories.
before we move on with this interview, I do want to say that the first one that I met of you guys was Elisa. We actually went to STC to study music together.
Yes.
Back in, we graduated in 2012, right?
Yes.
En 2012, that's how I got to. And you were always talking about your mom, but you never mentioned your sister. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Like, ¿qué pasó con Diana? Like, Diana, like, ¿qué te hizo? She would push you around or what? ¿Era tu bully o qué?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I have so many good memories. Back when, of course, my professional music career ended in 2008, you know, when I was playing and everything. And I decided I want to go to school for music, and that's when I met you. And 2009 is when I signed up. And at first, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to study music, but I didn't know if I wanted to teach or perform or whatever. And the reason I mentioned that is because I know you were a lot of help to me during that time. You're always helping me with especially with the music theory y todo eso, because yo estaba bien burro.
Hasta la fecha.
Sigo, no cambio. I dropped out of high school, carnal. Come on, give me a break, carnal. You get menso, I dropped out as a senior. Can you believe that? Mi mom, we would go to my tía's houses y mi mom miraba las pictures de todos mis primos graduated, you know, with their gowns y todo. Y mi mom, mira, mijo, mira, ellos sí acabaron, ¿no? ¿Dónde está el tuyo? Digo, ma, pues un día. I was in my 20s, pero when I finished my career, dije, ¿sabes qué? I had that in me that I felt bad that I never graduated and I never got to give that to my mom. So dije, you know what, I'm going to finish college. So I'm going to go to, aunque sea un certificate, pero lo voy a agarrar. And I'm going to walk down over there, remember when we did the ceremony?
And you did.
And I did. Gracias a Dios se me cumplió.
No, that was your wedding.
Y porque me casaron. I didn't want to get married, pero me casaron. Pero sí, that was, bueno, I went off track. Siempre I start talking about me and I forget about the guests.
No.
Pero the reason I'm mentioning all this is because that's how I met Elisa. And, you know, and we, you know, formed a real, I mean, it was a little group of people that we and I was like their little dad ahí, because I was the oldest guy. So it was me and some other dude. Remember that? ¿Cómo se llamaba? You would always play piano with him. Y él cantaba unas canciones de Emilio Navaira. I forget his name. Pero me and him were the oldest ones there.
He would take his guitar.
Sí.
Okay.
And I remember, like, it was a little group of people y nos juntamos ahí and, you know.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We were studying. We really cared. We would practice and we really did want to pass all our tests and
to me it was like I was living the dream porque I'm like, man, all I'm doing right now is music. ¿Me entiendes? At that point,
all day.
Yeah,
all day. It was
studying music y todo, and it was a real good time. But during that time was when I got to know you. Y eso ya me dijiste, no, I play accordion, because I always saw you playing piano and guitar.
And they didn't have a accordion major there at the
and I was like, no, but she's a real good musician. But yeah, talking to you and everything, you're like, no, I like, you know, I like Tejano, Norteño, even colombianas también.
Oh, yes, I love it.
And then that's when we started. I felt that at that point we started having a lot more in common, because me coming from the grupero world, you know, and you liking that music, pues we had more to talk about.
Yeah.
It wasn't just music theory or Mozart and all this other stuff. So that was kind of cool. And then to know that, you know, you had a band with your mom and you guys were playing all around, man, like. And I remember back in 2013 is when I started thinking about this podcast, about doing it. And you were definitely on my top list. If I ever do it, I'm going to invite Elisa, porque, you know, we have a lot of history with music. And even though you might not be like all famous y todo, but just the fact that we share so much with music, that to me, it makes for an interesting topic. So I'm glad you guys made it.
Thank you for
having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Now.
Sí. So, el grupo Los Texas Sweethearts, ¿en qué año comienza? When did that start? Elisa, a ver, ya.
What does it say on the picture?
Well,
established.
That's what I was going to say. When you were in college, you said 2012?
Yeah.
I was in college as well, and I finished 2013.
Okay.
And that's when I was at UTPA, you were at STC. We were living, that's why she didn't talk about me, because we were living our own lives.
At that point.
But 2013.
And school consumes you so much.
It does.
Yes. And I didn't get to play music during that time.
Much.
I didn't play music. So when I graduated, I told my mom and Elisa, let's do a band. Let's continue it, because there was a little hiatus, a little time there we didn't play.
That's what I was going to ask. Since y'all were studying, and you mentioned that they started very small, there was like a little break in between?
Yes.
Okay.
So then 2013, that's when I said, let's do this. And they agreed, and that's where we started.
So the Texas Sweethearts started then and there?
Yes, 2013.
Okay. And where did the name come from? Whose idea was it? Yours?
I didn't like it.
Why?
I didn't like it maybe because I didn't picture us as sweethearts. Cursing and just, you know.
Las cabronas de Texas.
Yeah, something like that. But when Mom said, I was like, what?
How about
Oh,
Sweet
okay, Mom.
Rebels?
Sweet
There
Rebels.
you go. There you go. But no, whatever Mom says goes, and it just stuck. And
Yeah.
everybody that has heard it has told us that they like it a lot, and
Yeah.
it grew on me.
Well, it goes with your sound because from the music that I've heard from you guys when you're performing live, like it's a very sweet sound, especially when you're singing. You have a very beautiful voice, by the
Put
way.
it that way.
It's a sweet sound. No, I mean, if we talk about what goes on backstage, I think all bands have like, horror stories about all that. Porque pues, como dicen, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Pero when it comes to present, once we go on stage, it's like we transform. I think you guys are going to agree with that, right? Like we can be, a veces, llegamos and we're in a real bad mood or we're upset about, la otra, risa y risa como siempre. Así está en el stage, right? She's always,
Oh, yeah.
siempre está riendo.
Yes.
No, pero sí, that happens. I mean, you're in a bad mood or you're sad and you go on stage and it like something just clicks to where, okay, now it's focus, it's, and you start feeling it and you get into the groove.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case with you guys. And I think it's a good name. What do you
Thank
think,
you.
Jesse?
Thank
I like
you.
it.
I like it.
I like it.
Well, we were.
Didn't you say you needed to make a name?
Yes,
like
we.
last
You see,
minute?
she said, let's get this going. It was a time when they grew up and they had to go to college, and so our schedules could not fit anymore. So we had to, pull back from that. Although Elisa still continued playing with me because we play at weddings at church and funeral services and little social, like birthday parties and things like that. We continued doing that.
Yeah.
But they were studying, and I had to respect that,
Claro.
Music kind of like, I would say, it fits in with our lives. We make it fit in our life, not the other way around, where it's music first and anything else afterwards. Life happens, and we plug it in wherever there's an opportunity or a chance to do so.
Claro.
And I truly believe that our Heavenly Father works with that with us because we have, I have 7 children. The oldest one is 22 now. And Elisa being the oldest one.
Youngest.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
the
So
oldest.
Elisa's the oldest.
She's the baby.
And Jonathan is the
number
youngest.
La bebé.
Yeah, so being that there's so much going on all the time and sometimes good, sometimes not good. And so as a mom and being the lead singer, I have to see like where can I be at what time, where am I needed, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so as a family band that happens also. Because as women, we're the caregivers.
Of course.
If you turn it around, I feel, well, if my husband was to be the musician, he always has me to watch his kids.
Yeah.
But if I'm the musician, so who watches the kids? So it kind of like changes the roles, and we have to take our gigs and make sure that it works for our family.
But that says a lot about your husband.
Yes.
That the fact that he, backs you up like that.
Yes.
That's a really beautiful thing.
He's awesome.
He's not. So your husband is not a musician?
Yes,
He
he plays
does.
the bass.
Oh,
He
okay.
plays the bass.
But you made it sound like he became a
played.
musician later.
She made
I
him.
You
taught
got him?
I taught
She
him.
taught him.
Oh, okay, okay.
I taught him. We met at a dance, and when we met again, he said, "This time I'm not gonna let her go. I'm gonna ask her for info." And he said, "Hey, can you teach me guitar?"
That was a perfect excuse.
Yes, it was
That
a
always
perfect-
works. That always works.
So
Yeah.
I was his teacher. I taught him how to play guitar, and from there he self-taught himself how to play the bass.
Wow.
And so we've always played music together. But when she said, "Let's start this again, but it's gonna be all girls,"
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
I kicked him out.
yeah, she literally.
He turned into the roadie.
Yes, he's our roadie.
Well,
he's our driver.
there's a guy in the pulga that wears tacones. I mean, maybe you can.
Yeah, can hire him.
Go viral.
Yeah, I go. No, but he goes and sets up for us and does a sound check and drives us.
He
brings
takes us out to
food,
eat afterwards.
Takes it out to eat. Brings us water.
Dad.
So he's there supporting us. And whenever Diana can't make it because she's a teacher, she's a very busy schedule.
course.
He'll go ahead and play.
He
play the
sits in
bass.
for her.
Yes.
Wow. Pues un
Yeah.
saludo para el señor. I didn't
Yes.
get his name.
Frank.
Frank. Saludo para Frank. Y aparte de su esposa.
And my
sus
husband
hijas,
too. My husband too.
su esposo.
I have 4.
Four
Our
husbands?
4 kids.
Oh. I'm like, ¿cómo le haces?
No, I have 4 kids, and he stays home with them, and he stays home with them, and I try to picture it flipped around and stuff. And I get a lot of support from a lot of people on Facebook, and especially men. And I wonder how would they feel if their wives were playing, because they're telling me, "Oh, awesome, keep doing it." But what if I was your wife?
Yeah.
Like, would you?
It's not
would
easy.
you be okay? Like, would you take care of my 4 kids,
Yeah.
and would you let me be out till 2, 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Bands with all men in them. Oh, you know what I mean? It's
men entre comillas. These times, you never know. Pero bueno, that's a different story.
You know what I
Oye,
mean?
pero
But that's
listening to you
sport.
guys, and listening to this conversation, me and Jesse, we've actually touched that topic a lot. Women in music. There's actually a few clips that I've put on TikTok regarding that subject, about how, gracias a Dios, in these times we live in a time where I think everything is more equal, and I think that's a good thing. That's how it should be. But unfortunately for women, especially in the Tejano, Norteño, with the Mexican American music, it's still a little. We still have a lot of catching up to do.
Yes, we do.
So the fact that you guys have that mentality and that you found people to back you up in that's I think it's a step moving forward.
Yes.
And it says a lot, especially for young ladies listening to this podcast. Pues, they can say, you know what, pues maybe that can be me too.
It can be done.
Yeah.
You have kids.
Porque
it can be done if you're
muchas
married.
veces when you're young, you go by what you see. O sea, tú ves una interview with somebody that you admire, and whatever they say, whatever they do, like, they're your role models. If they, whatever they did to get to wherever they're at, pues you want to do that. So the fact that you guys are putting that out there, I think that's a very good thing.
Yes. I
And I
really
congratulate
enjoy that.
both of your husbands.
Thank you.
Are you married as well?
I am. I'm not married, but I am engaged, and
Okay.
luckily, he's a musician as well.
Oh, okay. That helps a lot.
And I don't-
With
yeah.
one, right? Not with 4.
One. I only have
Excellent.
one. But we do fight over cables. Like, where's my instrument cable? Where's my this? You took this, and then I buy more cables, and it's like, well, where's those now? So we
You
fight
love
over.
it.
We fight over.
But that's a
our
good fight.
equipment.
That's a good fight.
to have.
That's a good fight to have. Qué bueno, qué bueno.
He helps us sometimes. He played the drums with us
Yeah.
when we needed a drummer.
Ah, okay.
So that was cool.
That's
Okay,
nice, man.
bring your fiance, Dan, and we need a drummer.
Sí.
So it works out.
It's a no boys club, pero once in a while ahí le dan chance a uno.
Yes.
Nah.
I mean,
A ellos son los que no les pagan.
Sí, ¿verdad? Les pagan con Peter Piper Pizza.
Yes.
I kept the money.
New gear.
I mean, you're gonna keep it either way, so might as well just put it out there.
That's awesome.
Nah, pues qué buena onda. I always love having people over, and it's nice to talk about music and all the stuff that everybody sees on stage. But I especially enjoy the background stuff. The behind the scenes, lo que
Yes.
nadie ve, and it's so cool that you guys are sharing that. I know you guys have been performing for a long time, and like you said, you've been traveling y todo. Have you ever been encountered like with difficult situations where, I mean, of course, it's always, fun to go play, pero muchas veces you run into crowds que, it's a little rough, maybe somebody's drunk or somebody's doing stuff. Have you guys ever seen stuff like that on stage or maybe on the road? Algo que
Mom
les haya pasado?
almost got in a fight once.
Okay, so when we go perform, guys will come up. You guys did an awesome job, and Elisa, wow, that was great accordion playing, and the wife or girlfriend will get angry with the husband or boyfriend because he gave her a compliment. Or, so I was ready to take care of my girls.
Like, where's my accordion?
Pero she made it obvious that she was upset.
Yes, she was
Oh,
very
yeah.
upset. So what happened was that we finished playing. He came up to us and congratulated us. I mean, it's when you see 4 girls on stage and you have the accordion and they're like, what? Girls are going to be playing, So it's at first you could see them like, so where's the band? The girls are setting up.
They're bringing in the
They're bringing in
instruments
the
for their
instruments, I
boyfriends.
guess, but then we're the ones to play, and they're like fascinated with that. And so he was very, very happy and excited that we were performing and that we were all girls, and especially congratulated Elisa. And we noticed a wife or girlfriend just like turn her face.
She lit up.
Yes, she was not a happy camper. So we were taking a break, and we were sitting behind them. And this girl was letting him have it. And so I was trying to diffuse the situation. So I kept flashing my phone, like taking pictures of the band that was playing while we were resting. And then she turned around and looked at us and like, hey, I'm taking pictures of the band. But it was just more so she like think of something else, you know. So we have encountered that, and
This is one time.
that,
But
that
it's
one
always
time.
it's always fun when we go out. What's
The sun.
the
I don't
problem?
know, the sun.
When we play is probably like when we're playing in the sun.
Oh,
sucks.
we don't want the sun anymore. That's our. We draw the line at
Minnie's
that now.
drums warped
Wow.
after one gig. That was sad.
Yeah.
And,
And-
she had
and
a
I had
beautiful
to-
drum set.
That happened to her, right? Her drums warped, and I had to go immediately inside the building, and I found a cool place. I just went under a table and just put like my whole body on the cold floor because I just felt like the heat was just like.
This was like
it
in the
was
middle
bad.
of summer? Or?
It was.
We played outside.
We played
Well, we
outside.
were supposed to be in. We were supposed to be inside, and then somehow the lady last minute, well, you guys can be outside and all that. And we were kind of like, we didn't know what to do. We're like, okay, let's do it. But then when we did it, we were dying with the heat. So after that, we had a talk. We're like, no more, nothing outside. And if last minute they say they change something, I mean, we're just not gonna play, or they have to accommodate because that's
We don't
not,
like to say no. But
No.
And
sometimes.
Diana drew
sun.
up a contract that said what we need. This is what we need. This is what we need. This is what we need. I was like,
At the
oh,
least,
No
water
sun.
and shade.
Yeah.
Water and shade. I mean,
See,
what
and-
else can we ask
And
for?
it's
My
interesting you're
accordions.
mentioning that because I've noticed that now, like in the festivals, like when I played at radio festivals with bands, you notice that now the stage they're covered.
They're
Yes.
covered.
Like arriba and on the sides. But I remember back in the day when I started back in my younger years, a veces nomás te ponían una traila.
Yeah.
It was just like a
That was-
flatbed. Y hacían setup ahí. Y pues since we were always the starting band, pues llegabas a las 4 o 5 de la tarde y todo
On the
el solazo ahí. Salía uno bien, salía bien prietito uno ahí.
Cuando,
So has her
cuando
boob
eras
lines.
flaco, Alex.
Cuando era blanco. Cuando era. Sí.
Yeah, one time I had this very pretty outfit, but I wore a dress and I had my boots on. Well, after that, it took maybe like 9 months to erase the boot line on my legs. The tan
That's how
up-
bad
yes.
it was.
I remember that. I was like, oh man, only Mari.
Pero es parte, I mean, de,
It's
de
part
esto
of
de
the
la-
experience.
My accordions
yeah.
get untuned in them.
Oh yeah,
Get all
your
sad.
accordion. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The heat affects the twin.
Yes, and
A
then I
lot
had
of
to
the
drive to La
times, a
Jolla.
lot of the times, for the sake of the instruments, is
Yes.
where you have
Yeah.
to draw the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like electronic stuff, right?
It's expensive.
Keyboards y
Yes,
todo
the
eso, I
heat
mean,
on the keyboard and
Yeah.
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 So, guys, anybody watching this podcast that's interested in contracting the Texas Sweethearts, ya saben. No, we need shade, we need wind coolers y todo. Para que echarle ganas a eso. Oigan, I heard a very interesting story about you guys because I was very nosy. I started, looking around. Dije, a ver qué chismes le saco. I heard a story about when Elisa was small. You guys were at a gig, and she got lost.
Yes.
What happened there?
Well, it's when they were in school, and I had to take Elisa and some of the kids to the doctor.
Okay.
I kept him with me that day, and said, like, if you guys behave, I'll take you to the park. And there was a festival going on at the park.
Oh, okay.
There was a music festival.
Also, it wasn't a gig.
No.
One of your gigs.
We didn't even have a band at that point.
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
So there was a music festival that would happen every year.
The Onion Fest.
No,
in
it was not the
Westlaco,
Onion
wasn't
Fest. It was a Winter Texan music festival that they would do there in
Westlaco.
Westlaco.
Okay.
And so I told them, if you guys behave after the doctor, we'll go to the festival. And so they behaved, and I took them to it. So I had the kids with me, and I'm trying to corral them, make sure that they're all together. And we get to our table, and we're sitting down, listening to music. There's stages everywhere in that park.
Wow.
And then I look around, and she's not there. So now I'm like, I was going to say a bad word, but I won't say it. So I was like, I need to find her, right? So I didn't know how to go about finding her and keeping all the kids together. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And then I hear, there's a little girl here who says her mommy can sing.
On the microphone?
Yes, on the stage.
Wow.
So she went to the stage to
I knew
tell
what I had to
someone,
do.
my mommy can sing,
Wow.
And so
How old were you at that time?
I was in elementary.
She was
I
in
was
elementary.
Probably
So
like
do you
first
remember?
grade. I remember.
Because I always hear her side, but I,
I
never hear your
remember.
side.
I remember that day. I do. I was very excited that we were seeing live bands, and we don't really see that. And then I knew my mom sings and she plays guitar. Like my mom's supposed to be on stage. What are you guys doing? So
get her on stage.
I just went up there and my mom knows how to sing. And like. And they
so they called me up.
Yeah.
They called me up.
Wow.
And so I remember hearing there's a little girl here. So I quickly look up and it's
But
Elisa.
at that point, I imagine that you thought, oh, well, they found her and they just want to find her mom.
I just heard her. My mommy can sing. There's a little girl here who says her mommy can sing, and I look up and I was like, "Holy crap!" And so I was so glad that I didn't have to go out and look for her. And
the relief of
yes, I was relieved.
I found my
but
child.
I wanted to spank her, and not only that,
Rightfully so.
Yes, not only. Did we find her? But she was putting me on the spot. Like, my mommy can sing.
Wow.
Well, she says her mommy can sing, and we'd like to get her up here.
And did you sing?
And so I have always told them. I've always tried to tell my children, you can do this. You can go. If they're afraid of something, and like you're better than that. You're better than the fear that you have.
Yeah.
And so I was being tested. I felt like it was a test,
Wow.
And so I went up there, and some of the Winter Texans took care of the kids in the front row. I went up there and I sang a song. I borrowed somebody's guitar, and that lady, everybody clapped, and she said, "I'm going to take you to the next stage." So they took me to another stage.
Wow.
So there I voy yo with a borrowed guitar and my
And all the kids.
and we go to the next stage, and so I sing, and so the evening went like that.
And then the next stage.
Wow.
So then
we were there all day.
Then we got called and said, we would like for you to come to this restaurant, and can you sing a couple of songs? And so I told my husband when he got home, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go sing at a restaurant," and he was like, "What?"
What?
He was like,
how did that happen?
Because this
So-
was not in our plans, like I said,
Yeah.
you go off, I have my children and I'm taking care of them. The guitar gets put off to the side, and whenever I can, it would be playing at church. I would play at
Okay.
church for the Sunday mass, and that's about it. And so,
So, Mari, at this point, your musical career was on pause.
yeah. When you have a family,
Of course.
you do not. My thing was to take care of them,
Yeah, Of course.
and
this story sounds very familiar. Yeah, I think there's a movie about it called Selena. Yeah,
yeah. So you take
but
care
it's
of your
so
children.
it's so weird how we get to an age where we mature, maduramos, y decimos, you know what, I have responsibilities now.
Yeah.
But somehow la cosquita de la música siempre
yes.
it always pulls you. Y lo que más bonito que sea con tus hijas.
Exactly.
That they're
If
the ones
it
that
was not my family, I don't think I would be doing it.
Yeah.
It's my family that's right alongside of me, and I'm building memories with them.
Yeah,
I'm building some memories, and it's just like doing what you love to do, but next to your fans, next to the people you love. I can't have it any better.
And I can definitely identify with that because for me, it's very hard sometimes. I have kids as well. I have 3 kids. And it's hard because sometimes if I'm off to do something, whether it's playing or this podcast or in the studio, pues I can't bring them along. So that part of me is like, especially when we're doing something together and they don't want me to leave. They're like, "Oh, you gotta leave." It's hard.
Yeah.
Es difícil. So I'm so happy that you can, you don't necessarily have to go through that.
No.
Al contrario, it's something.
Yes.
It's a family thing.
We were able to do it for a long time, and once it started happening, when the kids started feeling like this is not cool, especially the boys, this is not cool, or things like that, or they started joining things at school.
Football,
football and all
sports.
that stuff. So now at that point, it kind of more defined as to who loves the music and wants to do it, and who would rather go off and do their own thing, and that's fine. That is not for everyone. And at one point or another, we all make our decisions.
Claro.
What is it that we want to do, and we have to be respectful of that.
Claro.
And I think that the difference between the Selena family and us is that they had a vision of maybe big shows, and how can we make money off of this and so forth, and we were doing it for fun.
Yeah.
We were doing it for fun, and then at some point I was like, hey, I can provide for my family right along with them.
Claro.
So why not? And then at the same time, give them their space to find out who they are, what they like to do, if they're going to continue or not, and so forth, And so giving them that respect was very important to us.
That's very good. I think it always starts like that. It always starts as a hobby, I think, for everybody, because, just the love of music.
Yeah.
Pero along the way, I think things start to happen, you know.
Yes.
Te hablan pa like you, que
Yeah.
te hablaron para ir a un restaurant and
Yeah.
then to go a gig. And by the time you know it, you need a calendar.
Yes,
to
we
get your
had a
stuff
calendar.
together.
Every day was booked, and whenever we have a cancellation, we'd celebrate because that's when we would go visit the
Yeah.
parents and do what needed to be done and so forth. So we wouldn't get upset about the cancellations.
That's awesome.
We were just like, okay, we
Day
get
off.
to do
Yes.
a day off.
That's awesome.
So
So out of all your kids, how many are musicians?
all of them play. All of them play an instrument,
Okay.
and Jonathan, the youngest one, has surprised me that he has a real good voice, and he's learned to play guitar because he went to was it STC and he got classical guitar classes,
Right.
and he'll practice at home, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying hearing him, you know.
Yeah.
And but when it comes to do it professionally, he don't want to do that. He does not want to do that. Michael, he got off saying, "This is not cool. I'm too cool for this," and now
You're lame, Alex.
Yeah.
The rest of us are lame.
yes, and now he
No
says,
wonder I was single throughout high school, bro.
and now we have an upstairs and you know the little
jam
studio, the jam room, and he's up there all the time, and he's learned to play the drums, and we'll have a conversation where he says, "I wish I wouldn't have quit."
Wow.
You know, because I don't know how to do anything. But now I see him making music,
And how old is he?
arranging music.
He's recording.
He is 27.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
27.
I
He's
always say
recording
it's
for
never too
others.
late.
Yeah, he's recording for others, and he's there
Yeah,
doing
he's
the
messing with
mixing.
the computer and recording, and I
Yes,
go, well,
and
we're
so-
not doing that, so that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm very proud of him for,
He's bringing
for
something
doing
to
that.
the
Yes,
table.
exactly.
That's good.
And if it fulfills him, all the power
Qué
to
bueno,
him.
qué
So
bueno.
now he's saying, "Well, I want to play the drums with you guys." And she says, "We're the Texas Sweethearts all girl band."
No boys allowed.
No boys allowed.
No, he needs to practice.
Yes, he needs
I
to
like
practice.
family. Like I'd rather have like our family play. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you just practice more, I mean,
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that's so smart that you put the discipline before anything else. Like anybody else would say, "Oh, he's my brother. He's in." No.
no.
Like
We all had to
you
do
have
our
to pass
work.
the you have to meet the requirements.
Yeah.
And you know that la música es muy celosa. And celosa, I always say that word en el sentido de que te descuidas un poquito, you stop practicing and you get rusty.
Yeah.
So you always have to be on
Yes,
top of
you
it.
always
You always have to be, doing it. Tanto en ese sentido,
I thought that was called aging.
we don't age, bro. We just get we're aging like wine.
Fine wine.
Sí. Well, actually, my mom says I'm aging like milk.
Agrio.
I want to
Entonces-
meet your mom.
Your mom sounds cool.
Me estoy haciendo bien amargado. Pero no, pero and I'm serious about that. I don't think it's ever too late. I don't know if you remember, Lisa, at STC at the jazz band. Remember que venía ese viejito y tocaba el saxophone?
Yes.
What was his name? I forget. Pero he was
forgot.
up there in his 60s, no? Ya estaba grande.
He was my dad's coach. And
Really?
Yeah, he was my dad's coach and my uncle's coach. So he was a
Okay.
coach in school, but he would play.
Yeah. Well, I remember having a
Saxophone.
conversation with him once, and I asked him, "How did you get so good? Have
He's
Have you
amazing.
been playing like all your life?" He's like, "No, I started in my 40s." Like he started playing saxophone in his 40s. It wasn't even a sax. It
wouldn't
was
have
a
guessed.
baritone sax, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
It was
but
not the regular.
beautiful.
It was the big one. I know
I loved
there's
when he
different
came to
ones.
practice.
Yeah, pero no, mi respetos para el señor. Y tocaba con un corazón. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
loved it. You know what I mean? It was so inspiring because I was the old guy in my class. You know,
And he was the older guy.
yeah. So I would see him. I'm like, man, it's not too late. I
Yeah.
can, do something with this. Pero,
And our other brother, Frankie, he played the drums.
Oh, yeah, he played with
And
us
he
for
did
a-
really
he
well
did
for
really
a while,
good. I
but
was
then
so
he
proud of
became
him.
a teacher,
Coach.
and he did not want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man,
He
here
poured
we
all
have
his
to-
heart into teaching.
Yeah.
And coaching
Yes.
and
So
stuff,
even to this day, I'll mention to him, I'm like, hey, because I teach too, and I still play, right?
Yeah.
But we're all different. I'm
I
like,
was
hey,
I was about to
yeah.
ask that. Like, what is it about a lot of teachers that I don't want to say they give up on life, right? But they make it all about the school, and it's like
they
wait,
give up on their dreams.
Exactly.
On their
exactly.
dreams.
It's an important
I've
job,
been able,
I think.
because
that
I
consumes
see.
them.
Okay, so
Underpaid.
my husband was a coach, and then Diana has been teaching, and then Frankie came in teaching, and I hear their stories, and so work doesn't end when they
When they-
clock out.
yeah.
The work continues
It's very
afterwards.
consuming.
Very
Yes.
consuming, and so I see them working even past that, and in their vacations they're still doing work, and they're doing their
And they love
grades,
the
and they're
kids.
planning, and they love their children. And they want to see them succeed.
So how are you
and
not
so in order
gonna-
to do that, you need to really pour yourself
Everything.
into it. And so I can see where sometimes she's like, I don't think I can do it to this, Mom. And so it's like, it's okay, don't worry, we'll try to find her. I'll say, Mama, it's just an hour,
Yeah.
2 hours. And try to convince her, or I say, just do everything you can before that day, and,
Claro.
things like that. But I can see how teaching is not just a career.
It's not for everybody. you know.
And it's not just a
Exactly.
career. I think it's more like a ministry, because we're working with little people's
Lifestyle.
lives.
You choose
And so
how.
it takes
You're
a little
gonna
bit
form
more.
their character.
Yes, exactly. So I can
You,
can see that.
You as a mother, of course you help them at home, when they're
Yes.
growing, but then you kind of pass them on to their teachers.
Yes, correct.
And all of us as parents, we're hoping that they're committed and on the right track to getting our kids to where they need to
Yes,
be.
correct.
Yes, which we all know is not always easy. So my respects for you, and
Mm-hmm.
I respected you as a musician, but I respect you more now as a teacher.
But I also
Felicidades.
don't have any children,
Okay.
so I think that helps me out a little bit. When I go home, I can just,
Relax.
and I'll do
She
my
has her
teaching
fur
stuff.
babies.
I do have doggies, but it's not the,
She
not the
loves
same. I can
them.
ignore them. But I will, I'll go home, do my teacher stuff, and then towards the end of the night, maybe 9 o'clock, I'll start, practicing a little bit till I get sleepy, and then go to bed. So I mean, it can be done. It can be done, but I know for some reason my brother, for him in his mind, he was like, no, I can't
Maybe
do
later
it.
when he gets the hang of it.
When he gets the hang of it, maybe he'll join us, because we always need a drummer. Like, sometimes if one can't make it, the other one can't make
Shout
it.
out to Minnie because
Yeah.
her back's hurting. She was
Hombre.
in the hospital yesterday for a little while.
Mm.
And we don't know what's going on yet, but we're hoping she's better because we do have a gig Friday.
She's y'all's
Tomorrow.
She's y'all's official drummer.
Yeah, she's our
Yes,
official drummer.
Minnie Loredo.
Un saludos.
But if
She would
Yeah.
have been right here being crazy.
So we were a trio. We've always played together as three of us, no drums. And one time, Mine, she put an ad on Craigslist.
Okay.
And she says, we're all the female musicians. And so we responded to that. And we got together. She went and practiced with us. And so ever since then, she's been in and out. And so I really enjoy the fact that we could do this music, for girls. Because you can always get the guy drummer. There's a lot of drummers that can say, like, I'll play with you all, but we want to keep it, all female.
All female.
And so,
So let me get this straight. She's the one that put the ad on?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
We
Who
weren't
was
even
on
looking.
Craigslist though?
Oh,
No,
yeah. Somebody, she was probably looking for plants.
Yeah,
or
the musician. I always
She was
get-
going to replace you guys.
No, I'm always looking for plants and animals because they have different sections.
They have everything.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they have everything. Now
Get your mind a little better.
now they have marketplace. So
Yeah.
now and they have the one for the animals and all the pets and all that stuff. So I'm there. I'm aside from a musician, I love the farming community. So even though I'm not like 100% farming, I think that I can do everything.
But that's so good. Because
We have like 19 lambs and 3 horses,
she
and
did
we
it.
built a chicken coop, so we're getting close to getting some chickens also. And I have so
Organic.
many books. Yes, I have so many books of how to do this, how to do that. So in my mind, I feel like I know how to make cheese and candles, and I know how
probably
to
already do.
cheer the alpacas. So I'm like, that's how I've always been, and so now I have the opportunity to do that, and so I'm like,
So that's how you were on Craigslist.
yes,
Okay.
go in there.
That's how you found Minnie.
Yeah, and so Mina, because there's a musician site, like instruments, they want to sell their speakers and stuff like that. And she put her ad there. She's
Aw,
like,
that's
hey
cool.
guys, there's this girl
She
who wants
really
to.
wanted to play
yeah,
with
she wants
somebody.
to, let's give her a chance, So she came and she practiced with us. And
We still have those videos from the first time she played with us in Edinburgh. We were at
Yeah.
my grandma's house,
Yeah.
and somebody went and recorded us, and that was the first time she went and played.
now she has a lot of family in
In
her
music.
in music.
Wow.
So the Laredo family's been known for their accordion playing and, you know, all that genre of music. So she's very familiar with it. So we didn't have to, like, specifically say, well, this is a polka and this is a kind of beat. She knew
She
what
knew
we
it
were
was
talking about. So
like, she was a perfect fit for you.
Yes,
yes.
Qué bueno.
Yeah.
She knew all the songs.
yeah, so we're very happy with her.
Yeah. Ok, raza, regresamos después de un pequeño break. Como pueden ver, ahora tenemos instrumentos.
Yes.
Nomás le hice así, Jesse, le hice ¡pum! Y cayeron los instrumentos. Tenemos guitarras, acordeón, un bajo acústico que tenía mucho de no ver uno de estos, Diana. ¿Qué onda con este?
It's a Taylor brand acoustic bass. I've always wanted one. We did need one for Serenatas, Mother's Day, or if we ever go to the Panteon, you know, to play.
Yeah.
I've always wanted an acoustic, so finally I have one, and it was thanks to my fiance.
Awesome. But I've noticed that it's got a pickup on it as well, right?
Yes, it can be plugged in as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Is the playing still the same? Like all the chords and everything?
Yes, I mean, it's the best it's gonna get compared to playing guitar, because we used to take another guitar for Serenatas
bass.
and try to play bass on it, but it's not as the same.
Not as deep.
Yeah.
I imagine the strings are also thicker
Yes,
from
they're
what I
thicker.
can see.
They're thicker.
That's awesome. No, pues,
Thicker is better.
and I see that that's the part where we go beep, Jesse. Por favor. No, mark it down, please.
Okay.
Esta
I'll
niña,
make sure of that.
Mrs. Potty Mouth over here. But I've heard Taylor.
Hey, you told her it was okay.
See?
Pero
That
oye,
was recorded.
pero se chifla la gente. Les digo, no, it's okay, it's YouTube. You can say bad words. Ah, bueno, chinga su madre. Y es donde, pues, no, tranquilos. Aquí somos niños decentes, Jesse. Sabes que my mind is clean as a whistle. I don't know nothing about that. No se crean. No se crean. Oye, I hear Taylor makes really good guitars.
Yes.
I've definitely I've heard a lot about them. Acoustic guitars.
Yes, so I know my fiance has the acoustic guitar, and I'll have the bass. So
Yeah.
I mean, we just have we always look for reasons to buy new gear,
Yes.
new equipment.
Sí. So I imagine that you guys Christmas trees during Christmas está lleno de instrumentos, ¿no?
Yes.
New microphones, new.
Strings,
Chords, picks.
straps,
Sí.
cases.
So
But
what
we
about?
had-
Oh yeah. So what about you, Elisa? Talk to me about your baby here. Your.
Okay.
I know you have several of them, right?
I
Several
have
accordions?
3. They're all in the same key. I just been gifted them throughout my life.
Corona.
Yeah.
Corona dos. Why does it say
Same.
Corona dos? Like there's Corona 1s, 2s, and 3s or what?
Yes, they have other ones.
They have different
La
series.
tres es
They
la
just keep
vallenata, ¿no?
coming. They just
Really?
keep
Yeah.
making new ones.
Really?
This one I was gifted 11 years ago or something like
Sí.
that.
Was that like it was
It was a
birthday,
gift. Yeah.
Christmas?
First, when I was 12, I got a black little Honor, little black one. And they had to find the lightest one they can find, the smallest one, because I was super tiny at 12. You can imagine. And then my dad had to hold it up for me so I can play it. And I started with that one. And then I got my Gabanelli, because I wanted the, what do you call them? Rhinestones. And it was sparkly and it looked so pretty.
Okay.
So I
yeah,
got that for my
Gabanelli's known for that,
quinceañera.
right? They have their little
Yes.
designs.
I got that for my quinceañera for the regalo de sorpresa.
Wow.
So that was awesome to have the accordion and be in my quinceañera dress, and then went upstage and played with the band and my
Te aventaste un
family.
palomazo with the band.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then I had those two, and then later, I guess the Gabanelli, I didn't know you had to tune them or something, and I had an outdoor gig, and it wasn't working anymore, and I was like, Mom, I have gigs coming up, I don't know what to do. And
That's
then
when we had to go to San Antonio, was it?
we had to play. We had a lot of gigs coming up, and we were freaking out because the Gabanelli actually, like, for the longest time didn't sound bad, and then somebody said, "I'll help you out, or we'll figure something out." So some friends were fundraising, and then somebody else wrote a letter, and they wrote a letter to Gilbert Reyes from Honor Accordions.
Really?
And
he's like a representative, or
yes, he's the one that travels everywhere and gifts accordions
okay.
and
You're talking
plays
about
with
you're talking
people
about
and-
endorsements. Like
How did-
yeah,
I don't know
like
how to
when
say
they do endorsements for even for famous bands, like they
Yeah, he
endorsed.
just shows up and he gifts students accordions, and then
Wow.
he'll go to a lot of shows, and he introduced me to Flaco Jimenez once.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Una leyenda de la música de conjunto, right?
Yeah, so he called me on the phone, and I'm glad I answered. I don't never answer.
Oh, no,
I
numbers?
don't never answer. Yeah, so I answered, and hi, this is Gilbert Reyes. I was like, what? And what note or what key do you want your accordion in? And
Así nomás. Like.
so it's real nice. He's like, I was from Wesco, and I got a letter, and you know what? Let me help someone out.
Awesome.
And I was like, and this came in, and it was around the time that the Texas Sweethearts were like,
Picking up.
yes. So it's I'm just very happy that all those gifts were like the best gifts ever. Yeah, instruments are the best.
I always
gifts ever.
wonder, like, I've seen that several times where, people give away instruments, and I always wonder, man, I hope they take that instrument and they do something with
something
it.
with
Yes.
I especially see
Sell it.
they sell it. Oye, I especially see it with when
Craigslist.
when Maná comes. Obviously, y'all know who Maná is,
Yes.
right? They always bring somebody on stage to do a guitar solo. Y lo acaba de tocar, and they give him the guitar. And I always think, man, I hope he doesn't sell it or he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Que la,
For
Go
them to
learn your
value
chords,
it.
Zach. Go learn your
Yes.
scales.
Yeah,
Yes,
you want them
but,
to value it.
Of course.
Yes.
And I mean, in this case, of course, I mean, you not only value it, you're putting it to good use. I mean,
Yeah, look, the paint's coming off. on
Oh
the
yeah,
side.
it's getting. I try to fix it up every once in a while by
yeah.
painting it, but it's just gonna come right off.
Scars of war.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
always
so I'm
say.
like, if I'm not getting it to get tuned, I'm not playing it, or if if it's not getting banged up, I'm not using it. So,
I always love it when you see rock stars with their bands, and I mean they're rock stars. They can afford to have a brand new guitar, but you see them and their guitars all banged up and scratched. But you know that guitar, it
Willie Nelson's guitar.
It's been through a lot.
Willie Nelson.
Sí.
He has a hole right in
She
his
wants
guitar.
to meet Willie Nelson.
Really?
I bet, yes.
Him.
Pero-
We need to.
Since
we
I
need
was
to do
little, I
it
would say
now.
I was gonna marry him.
Ay.
We would sing a lot of his songs
fifth
when I was
husband.
little. Oh, the
El
fifth.
fifth, number 5. Sí, de volada.
Well, once you do, bring them to the podcast.
Sí. Oye, pero se va a ver medio raro eso porque van a decir, bien gold digger con el viejito nomás.
I just want to
porque...
braid his braids.
Sí.
I want to play
That's what
music
you call
with
it
him
nowadays?
and hang out with him on the
Sí.
bus.
It's a true story. She's always, ever since she was very little, she would say, I love old men.
Sí.
Remember that, Lisa? I was like, Lisa.
I might have said that.
Yes.
Oye, pero...
Now. Maybe before when I was. I don't know. They're
Sí.
So
cute.
they're so cute. She would say they're so
Sí.
cute. I was like, Frank, we gotta
Until
be
you
careful
gotta change
with
their pampers.
the kids.
Pero,
The kids can do
oye,
it.
pero it's all worth it when the Social Security comes
Oh,
in.
my
No
goodness.
pasa nada.
Wow.
Sí.
No, well,
Guys, it's all for love.
Yeah, it's all for love. No, she loves
Music
Willie
and
Nelson.
love.
That's
Love
for sure.
music.
No, pero pues verdad, he's a true legend of,
Yes.
of music.
If
man, and
anybody
he's done
can
so
connect
much.
us with Willie Nelson, this is the opportunity.
Oh.
Let us know.
Gotta get Elisa to meet him.
Is so he's still touring?
Only for the
He's
breaks,
still
though.
playing. I follow
Wow.
him. He's still
Wow.
playing. He was sick a little bit ago. I was like, no.
Que no se muera.
Not yet. I haven't met him.
And then
He played in Austin, but it was so expensive.
Oh,
So broke, and I was like, we can't.
no.
Wow. Pues
We'll
if
figure it
anybody
out.
knows him, Willie Nelson, contact us, and you have a big fan right here. I know, you know who Los Lonely Boys are?
Yes.
Out of San Angelo, Texas. I know
They're
they.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're great. Tocan con madre.
Yeah.
But I know that they've collaborated with him.
Yes.
Somehow.
I heard one of.
So, de
I was like,
repente-
oh, that sounds like Willie's guitar.
Yeah.
Sure
Like you can
enough,
tell
right?
when he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his style.
If he, I think I heard him another song once, and I was like, "Hey, that sounds like his guitar picking."
Yeah.
And then I looked it up. I was like, "Oh yeah,
Sure enough, it was him.
He collaborated in that song, and you could just tell with his
Yeah.
guitar playing."
Pues, I think it's really fun to talk about music, but how about if we now make some music?
Of course. Of course.
Yes.
¿Cómo ven? Aquí las...
Only if you join us.
Oh.
Pues traigo aquí mi güiro, mi guacharaca. I mean, this is for cumbias. I don't know if you guys want to start off with a norteña first, or you want to do a cumbia.
Let's do a cumbia. Yeah.
What do you want
Okay.
Dale.
A ver, we're going to see. Who's going to sing? You are?
Yes.
Okay. Bueno, vamos a ver si... I'm going to turn this microphone. Guys, we're
Put
totally...
This was not planned, but we have a conga in here.
We have a conga. Ahí la pueden ver.
You
Jesse,
guys are silly.
pick her up so people can see it porque no se ve en el ángulo. Levanta un poquito la conga, no es para que vean, para que no digan que es fake.
La voy a tocar así.
Órale. Chinga.
There we go. We're ready.
This is something improvised. We've never had live music on this podcast, pero like they say, there's always a first time. Y qué mejor que con mi amiga Elisa, con Mari, con Diana. The Texas Sweethearts, ladies and gentlemen, suenan así.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
¡Suena la cumbia!
La cumbia sapuesana, la que baila con ganas. La cumbia sapuesana, la que baila con ganas.
¡Dale, Jesse! Y desde el valle para el mundo, los Texas Sweethearts. Ah, no, perdón, las Texas Sweethearts.
That sounds good.
You take it on the road or what?
Yes.
Alex no va a aguantar el brazo. Vas a ver.
My hand
You
is
switch
stiff.
it to the side.
Hey, I need to start practicing with my hand again. Say
Oh.
The Guido. Hey, come on, guys. It's rated G, guys. Come on. No,
Okay, it's for real now. Let's record it now.
Ahora sí. Espérate, the camera was off, bro. Sorry. Oye, dicen que the best things in life always happen when they're not planned.
That's right.
And this is definitely the case. That sounded awesome. I think we're ready for a gig. Contrataciones aquí con Mari, the Texas Sweethearts.
Texas Sweethearts.
Oye, we started the song and we didn't even say the name ni nada. Esa canción se llama La Cumbia
La cumbia
Sampuesana.
sampuesana, and then it went to
It was a mashup,
La
no?
cumbia cienaguera.
La Cumbia Cienaguera.
Yeah, cienaguera.
Son canciones originales de Colombia, right?
Yes.
They're Colombian songs. I've heard them with several artists, pero bien bonitas.
I heard it with La Tropa Vallenata. That's
Tropa
what I heard
Vallenata.
the first time I heard
Yeah.
La cumbia sampuesana.
Pues son los que la hicieron más popular aquí, especially in this area. I remember back in the day. So, obviously, you guys, as the Texas Sweethearts, you play all types of music.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
pero where does the influence for this come from? For cumbia?
I guess because we're here on the border, and Mom would always bring cassettes home. She'd go
Okay.
to Mexico, come home with some new cassettes, and she's like, "Look, Lisa, listen to these." And a lot of them were La Tropa Vallenata cassettes, and she would have them play over and over. So I mean, we're playing,
Yeah.
but we're listening.
You're
you
getting
know?
that influence.
Yeah. So and then it just
Wow.
comes out when you're playing later. You
Yeah.
know, like this sounds like it sounds good here, or maybe I should put this here,
Yeah.
or maybe or because you hear so many different kinds of music, it's easy to just blend them without really being conscious of it.
Yeah.
So we listened to that. And Mom listened to a lot of country music because that's how she learned how to speak English and how to lose her accent. So she listened to a lot of country, especially a lot of women country singers. So we listened to a lot of country music. The Winter Texans would give us cassettes and 8-tracks. You remember those? They would give us 8-tracks also. They're like, here, listen to these songs. Maybe next summer when we come back down, you can play them for us. And we did. That's how we learned new songs, and a lot of those were country. And they wanted to hear it with the accordion, or they wanted to hear it. Mom would change the lyrics to Spanish sometimes for my grandma, and sometimes she would change the Spanish song to English so the Winter Texans could understand. So that would be in there, and then we would play at church. A lot of our gospel music sounded like what would they call this? The cumbia choir. They would call this the cumbia choir. So we didn't want to play just traditional gospel. We wanted people to feel something. So it was a mixed country, the accordion music and the La Tropa Vallenata and the rock. We still wanted to play our rock and listen to rock and play. So it was easy to put all that together, and we enjoy all those different genres. So naturally, when we play, that's a music we want to play everything, you know.
Of course.
So when we get hired, sometimes they're like, "Can you play more country for this gig?" And we're okay, we got you. Or like, "Can you play more we're having a Cinco de Mayo thing. Can you have more Spanish? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Or
Yeah.
can we have more? We're having a Tejano night, and then we'll do that. So it's just always been very comfortable, and I like that it's a mix. It's not strictly like,
All country.
yeah,
all-
it's
It never gets
sounds
boring.
very blended.
It
Yeah,
doesn't get
no, we
boring.
don't.
But that's so cool that all of you guys had that open mind to try different genres.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my experience, a lot of people they'll be like, "Oh, well, it's because I only play this style," or,
Oh,
or
yeah.
I only like this. They're doing what they like only.
Mm-hmm.
And as a working musician, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. You have to keep an open mind,
Yeah.
especially like observe like those Winter Texans that were giving you those 8 tracks. You had the capacity to say, "Hey, they're giving them for a reason. That's what they want to hear."
Yeah.
And they were amazing songs.
And
like
there's
they were awesome songs.
There's nothing more beautiful than playing a song on stage and seeing the reaction of somebody who wanted to
Yes.
hear that.
Oh,
That's my
yes.
song. Like, for me, that's payment.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
don't pay me money, pay me that. Y ya, con eso, bueno, sí me pagan, ¿verdad? Pero con eso se va uno bien contento.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
you know.
That
you're-
happens a lot at funerals
Yeah.
when we play at funerals.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about that. I mean, I've played at all types of events, birthday parties, weddings, quinceañeras, but funerals?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that like a popular thing? Like, does
We've been busy.
Well, it's more on the side. We don't go as
At Texas
Sweethearts.
Sweethearts.
My
Okay.
mom
and
funeral. No, it's just a musical service,
Yeah.
Mari.
okay.
This, the playing at funerals. My father was a deacon, and
Okay.
so we were at church all the time. We were
Okay.
at church, and he played the guitar. My mom played the guitar. They did beautiful harmonies together, and so at a certain time, I started learning to play the guitar. I was self-taught because my dad didn't want us to touch his instruments, so he would hide them from us, and so I learned to play when we moved to Weslaco, and I already had my children. One of my youngest daughter, Amanda, her best friend in, I would say, kindergarten or pre-K.
Pre-K.
In pre-K, was shot by another kid. They found a gun in the sofa, and you know,
An accident.
An accident that happened, and her little best friend passed away. So my daughter volunteered me with her teacher. My mom can sing for her.
Wow.
And so we sang for that little girl who had passed away, and from there, it's never ended.
Wow.
It just kept going and going.
But it's such a powerful thing to do to be able to control your I mean, of course, funerals are always full of, grief, sadness.
They are. I don't even know how to explain this, but when we're there, and that's when I learned that music was energy, and we go play, and when I would get home, I literally felt sick. I didn't know why, but I would call my mom, let her know that I love her, and I made sure they knew that I loved them, because we realized that we're not going to be here forever, and you just never know what's going to happen. You could, there's so many ways to go, in other words. But I didn't realize that when I was going there, I was trying to give my best energy to the people who are hearing us, because they're in pain, just like you said. They are in pain. They just lost somebody that they love, somebody that they've known their whole lives. And while I'm giving of my energy to make them feel better, which is my hope, that it eases their pain, I was taking their pain in. And so I could literally get home and just be so exhausted emotionally. I started learning that we need to protect ourselves from that. So like you did today, did a prayer. Do a prayer before we start, just so that we can give our best and maybe block so much of the pain so that it doesn't hurt us. And so then I've learned also that it's okay. We can take that with us, but we can also release it. There's been some moments that are very difficult to be able to sing through and not break down when you're doing it. But it's also okay to break down when because you're human, and you're showing people that it's okay to hurt in such a moment. It's okay to let it go.
And she sang for her own dad's funeral.
Oh, wow.
Or we sing for our family
Yeah.
a lot.
That's
So
the hardest.
To
thing.
play for your own family, that's something else as well. But it also feels like something,
an honor.
an honor that we can help in some way.
Claro.
And they would always ask for it, so we had to mentally prepare. They're like, when I die, you're gonna play for me, and I want these songs.
Claro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's considered an honor.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it is.
to have those songs played for you, especially
definitely
because,
is.
especially in you guys' case, that music is such a big part of y'all's life and
Yes.
y'all's family.
Yes.
Sobre todo.
Yeah.
I heard you talking about your father, that he was a musician as well.
Mhm.
So you're talking about, it's a music family that goes back generations.
Yes, yes.
So why not include music, even for an occasion like that?
Yes, yeah.
But es muy admirable para mí. Lo digo en español porque no encuentro las palabras
Yes.
para decirlo en inglés,
Sí,
pero
sí.
admiro mucho que tengan el valor de hacer esas cosas. Y se me hace un gesto muy noble,
Yes.
especialmente como usted lo está explicando, que es algo que you don't just show up, perform,
no.
and I don't care about them. Like,
No, no.
you actually become a part of their
Yes,
grief.
yes.
And-
We have families that have known us, and they tell us we're part of their family because we've been with them through the most difficult times of their lives, which has been during the funerals,
Wow.
their passing of their loved ones.
Yeah.
And so I truly believe, like Elisa says, music is energy and it transcends. It's not just there where you're at, but it travels.
Yeah.
And even though we physically cannot hear it, the energy is touching. It continues going. Energy cannot end. It just keeps
It's ongoing.
going. It's ongoing.
There's something about being on stage with a group of guys, especially if you guys are friends or family in you guys' case, that when everything es más, I felt it right now when we're playing. We've never played together, pero you feel that ese gusto. In this case, it was a
I
cumbia.
felt you over there.
Yeah. Pero as musicians,
Alex has me over here by myself, so this was a nice connection right here, right now.
it's nice to be included. Pero as musicians, we kind of, well, I know for sure I do, playing for so many years, you start taking that for granted, where you just think it's a normal thing, like, we're feeling it. But it's a very special thing that not everybody gets to experience.
Oh, yeah.
Only the ones that experience it as a group can
No.
tell you what it is.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful thing that you can translate that into a situation where people are grieving or it's pain, and to bring a little positive energy to the
Yeah.
moment. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we've had families that'll say, it was in his will that he wanted Mari to sing. And so they had to go search for me. Like, okay, where do we find her? Well, we heard her with this family when they call them.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, like you get a call at maybe
like,
like 2 in the
wow.
mornings, and then crying. My mom just passed away, and she did tell us that she wanted for you to play. And so it is really touching, it is very, I feel honored, that they thought of me that way. And
We were
that
hired not too long ago, 2 hours away, and then we spent the night because they still wanted us the next day. And I didn't think somebody would do that,
Yeah.
for their loved one. Like,
course.
let's hire these people, have them for 2 days, blah, blah, blah. Like, what? And it just feels like...
That's the last one you
it's a
did,
beautiful-
right? When you told me
yes.
you were going to Hebronville, right?
Yes,
Is
yeah.
that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we went.
Wow.
And at that same place where I was gonna say, sometimes we know what we're gonna play, and sometimes we don't. And you said you have to read the people, right?
Yeah.
So we do that as Texas Sweethearts. Mom's like, okay, they're dancing this. Okay, they like this, But at the funeral, it's I don't know how.
Holy
Sometimes we'll be like, what do we play next? We're like, as we're going, what do we play next? And sometimes Mom and I will say the same song at the same time. And okay, good. So we're in agreement, and then we play it. And then at the end, that's the song she wanted. I didn't know the name of it, and I was so sad because we were not going to get to play it because I didn't know the name of the song, and that was the song, and it happened to be the last one. And how did we know? How did we know? And
There's a
um,
connection there.
God's presence.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Mom. She's always saying that's spirit. That's
Yeah, that's
spirit.
the Holy Spirit.
So
Wow.
I love playing with my family, especially when Frankie was playing the drums. Oh man, it's like you're communicating without communicating.
Well,
Like talking without
Yeah.
say. Do you know when she's gonna sing longer? When we're gonna end?
well, it's because
all that
music
stuff.
is a language in itself. So in a way, you are talking.
Yeah.
You are using a language, except
We're-
it's
and
not
we're
the.
not even saying it's.
it's-
It's a beautiful feeling. It feels
Yeah.
awesome.
It's the
Connection.
audible language of music, of performance. That's beautiful. I want to ask you guys, what's a typical song that you normally play at a funeral? Or I hate to use the word enjoy, but what's a song you like to play at funerals that you feel connects with people?
There's so many.
Te vas a
Te vas Angel Mío. I like that one. I feel like a lot of people ask for Un Día a la Vez.
Would you
Amor
guys
Eterno
mind
and stuff like
performing
that.
right now?
Yeah,
Performing.
that's fine.
I mean, you don't have to perform
Te
it
vas
all.
Angel
But,
Mío.
Can you do Ángel Mío? Just
Yeah,
to-
I like that one.
I
And
want.
sometimes, like with the first note, people or two notes, people know what it is, and they just start crying. Oh man, like
Sí,
right from the beginning of the song. And
Mom, stop.
sí.
don't cry, mom. You have to sing. I always tell her, mom, we'll cry after, okay? So yeah,
En Peter Piper Pizza. Grabamos.
I'll cry when I'm in food coma. I'll cry.
Sí,
right?
vamos. Damas y caballeros, este programa es pregrabado, this is pre-recorded, pero de hecho, coincidentemente el día de hoy acaba de fallecer una tía mía, entonces
Our
me gustaría
condolences.
dedicar esta canción para mi tía Silvia Medina, que en paz descanse, y para toda mi familia allá en Camargo, para mi tío Toribio, todos mis primos, mis hermanos, mis carnales, les mando un abrazo y disculpen por no estar con ustedes en estos momentos, pero aquí les mandamos con los Texas Sweethearts.
Te vas, ángel mío, ya vas a partir, dejando mi alma herida y un corazón a sufrir. Te vas y me dejas un inmenso dolor. Recuerdo inolvidable me ha quedado de tu amor. Pero ay, cuando vuelvas, no me hallarás aquí. Irás a mi tumba y allí rezarás por mí. Verás unas letras escritas ahí con el nombre y la fecha y el día en que fallecí. Pero ay, cuando vuelvas, no me hallarás aquí. Irás a mi tumba y ahí rezarás por mí. Verás unas letras escritas ahí con el nombre y la fecha y el día en que fallecí.
Bravo, bravo. Qué bonito.
Thank you.
Qué bonitas
Gracias,
canciones,
Silvia.
qué bonita voz.
Amen.
Qué bonito acordeón. Wow, yo me imagino esta canción tocándola, tener que tocarla en un funeral y estar presente. Wow, it's very powerful. Very powerful feeling. I admire you guys for what you do.
Thank you. Thank
padre,
you.
qué padre.
Appreciate that.
Pero bueno, ya fue suficiente de tristezas. Ya me quiero poner a llorar. Ya estamos aguitados. Y como dijo Mari, se vale. It's part of, se
Part of
vale.
life.
It's part of, we all got that. Siempre digo yo, todos tenemos esa cita algún día. Puede ser mañana o puede ser en 50 años, pero el de arriba es el que decide. Y lo único que nos queda es disfrutar, como dijo usted hace rato, disfrutar a la familia, los amigos, disfrutar la música.
Play as many gigs as you can.
Yeah. So el día que faltemos que quede algo ahí
Yeah.
grabado.
Así
Have
es.
you guys ever considered recording an album or something, even if it's
Yes,
just for
we're-
you guys?
We're in the process of getting that going. We're making our list and making sure that that's what we want there. you
For
know.
the longest time, we would do covers, and we're like, we can't do covers forever. So we got to sit there and we have to like try, let's write.
Do you guys write? Who
so
writes
we
here?
just started.
I just said
It's
we
funny.
just have to start. Like
Yeah.
we just have to do it. So
We
we,
have,
have
like, 2-3
We have 2
songs.
songs and a third one working, but it's because I
Okay.
had to be like I just picked the notes. We're gonna play in G and D, okay?
Oh, no.
Okay,
And
what
then- yeah, and
Mom,
then
write
it,
the lyrics.
and then it worked out, and I guess I just had to push it because we just keep playing gigs,
Yeah.
and we never
We
find
need
the time
put
to write. So
to write.
I think last year we went, or in March we went to the Hano Fan Fair,
Yeah.
and we were in the hotel doing nothing. So I was like,
Let's write the song.
all right, I'm gonna do a song in A minor, and I was just playing the bass.
Come on, Mom.
All right, what are you guys gonna do
feel?
to it? What are you gonna, So you have
A
to do
cumbia.
that, yeah. So
Okay.
and that's the hard part. We like so many different styles. It's like, what do we do?
Or
Which
we know
way do
so
we
many
go?
songs. Oh, that sounds like this song. That sounds like this
So
song. No,
we have 2 songs written that we can record, and then we have one
That we
on the
need
way.
it.
On the way, being delivered. It's in, it's in the
It's
room.
very fun.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. I can't like.
Oh,
Just-
we have our record because we recorded. My brother has a little recording studio upstairs, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was recording our ideas as we were going, and oh my gosh, we were laughing so much.
The things we
But it's a
say.
good
Yes,
song because
yeah.
if it stays in your head and you wake up and it's there and then you go
Yeah.
to sleep and yeah,
That's what
it's
you
like-
want. You want
Yeah.
to
So we
remember
wrote
it.
like we just made the arrangement, chorus, well the verse, the chorus, whatever, and then we showed it to Lisa. Okay, Lisa, put some
The
melody to
chord.
it, and then it works well because I did not imagine it would sound that great when she came in. I was like, oh, that sounds really good. So and I told him too. Maybe these are not the hits yet, but we just got to get
But
it
you gotta
rolling.
start.
Yeah,
When
just get it
When
going.
they come out, we'll come here and we'll do it.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. No,
Yeah.
definitivamente. I always tell my guests the doors are open for part 2. I'm always excited, especially talking to musicians. We could be. I mean, these cameras. I don't know how long they can record, but I always say we could be here all day for hours and hours and just talking about music and sharing our stories. And I'm so happy that you guys made time today. I'm so
Thank
sorry
you.
for waking you up so
No, no,
early.
no, it's all right.
It's
Me, I don't have a sleep
it's
schedule.
Jesse's fault.
I have
Le-
it. It's okay.
Le voy a echar la paleta a Jesse.
I just found out last night about this. So it is
No, no
not
se
my
crean.
fault.
No
I
se
have
crean.
insomnia, so I get up real early.
I just say when people really want to get something done, it'll get
Exactly.
done.
Exactly,
So we're all
yes.
here and it happened.
No
And we
excuses.
really tried this other time that you were here.
Oye, sí, ¿verdad? Oye, Elisa stood me up. ¿Cómo ves, Jesse?
Sí.
Me dijo, yeah, we'll go. ¿Segura mañana? Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
there. Y luego en la mañana, Alex, no voy a ir. Y yo,
After you.
my little heart. I just heard like a crackling glass crack.
No, you're really trying.
Nah,
It was
no
like
te
one
creas.
thing
No,
or
no, no, no.
another.
I always say, hey, like you were saying earlier, Mari, we have our lives, we have our families and things come up and,
Yeah.
and family first.
Yes.
Siempre digo eso a mis, the musicians that we practice with, I always put that out there. Like, a veces they call me aguitados, like, yeah, Alex, I can't go, whatever, what's going on? No, pues que mi hijo, hey, take care of your son, man. Porque,
Yeah.
if he's sick or whatever, I mean, the band can always come back. We can always come back another day.
Exactly.
So, qué bueno que tengan esa mentalidad.
Yes.
Brought some gifts.
Regalos! And I'm sure you brought something for Jesse too, right?
Yes.
Sí.
Really?
Porque
I never get anything.
Jesse nunca le trae nada. Oh, stickers. You make these or what?
Yes. Let me see. This
Yeah,
one
open
I
that one up.
painted.
Lo voy a abrir, a ver, lo voy a abrir porque yo me gusta presumir las cosas que me regalan. I like to show off because I never got presents as a kid. We were broke, so now that I get them, like I get all excited.
A bit dramatic. A bit
Yeah.
dramatic.
These are yours.
Oh, thank you.
The
Let me
Gonga player.
let me get up. Let me get up so I can show them off to the camera here.
A ver, Raza.
That's my bandana. That's I have them on my accordions.
Órale. It's your official merchandise.
Yes. I just started doing that recently. It's a learning process. It's fun. It's tedious, but it's very gratifying at the end.
What you draw this on here or what?
So what I did, I took some screenshots of videos of me performing or playing or whatever. Did that in pencil, and I sent it to a friend of mine, Erica Missy, and she's a drummer, and she does illustrations for books and stuff. She's a caricature artist. She does a lot of stuff. She's amazing.
Wow.
And I knew when I was gonna do my merch that she was gonna be the one to do it. So it had to be digital form. So I'm like, I don't know how to do that, you know. So I sent her my drawings, and she turned them all digital with her tablet or whatever.
Yeah.
And she sent me the designs back, and I was like, yes,
You see that, Alex?
yes.
Turn it
Like,
this way.
so I'm so happy. Like on there, you see the actual bandana on the accordion. So
Yeah.
So
that's
cool.
the actual bandana on the accordion. Yeah.
Mírala playing in action. Lisa in action.
Is there like a site or somewhere where people can order these or not yet?
I don't have a site for these, just personal, just to
Okay.
get to me. But
Announce
Diana, the Texas Sweethearts, Diana's been working real hard on our
Okay.
Shopify
Yes,
store.
we have a
Shopify
Shopify, and it's been very hard. We have our own merch as well. That it took us a while to. We have koozie stickers, and we have some shirts.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
So I have an online store, but I'm starting to realize there's some negatives about it. I'm
We're
spending.
still learning.
I'm spending more money than we're making in the
Oh,
merch.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me start doing more research on other sites that are maybe free or something, because
Yeah.
We're all learning.
Yeah, we're learning, but we'll sell them when we go perform somewhere.
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
Take
table.
our shirts.
But I'm trying to take it online. So we do have a My Shopify.
I'm proud of her.
Texas
I can.
Sweethearts.
Yeah. So guys,
Wow.
the best place to get them is if you see that the Texas Sweethearts
Yeah,
are
we have a
performing near you,
performance.
just go
We have
to the
a
performance. You can also contact through all these posts that I'm going to be posting of the clips and stuff. I'm going to make sure and include y'all's Facebook
Thank
account,
you.
so they can just click on it and it goes straight to them. And I imagine that somebody responds to messages, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If like direct messages, just ask where they can meet up. They're here from the Valley. You guys are from
Yes.
Westlaco,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I was born in
Westlaco.
Westlaco.
Oh, okay.
Ahí nací
I
yo.
didn't know that.
Sí, ahí nací en Huela con mi mamá y mi papá andaban allá en La Pulga y fui a dar allá. Iba a nacer en McAllen, pero pues cayó allá la cigüeña. Pero ya, raza, this is very cool merchandise, man. Check it out. Bandanas, stickers.
I'm a bandana kind of guy. I wear a bandana every day to the gym, except for today. I couldn't go to the gym because we're catering to you guys here today. But I would love one of those. If there's somewhere I can buy one, I buy one for you, from you.
Sí. Y
I'll
pues ya
give
saben,
you
raza.
one.
Sí.
No, the bandana thing at first. Well, I sweat a lot. I sweat a lot when I play, and that
We all
was
do.
like my and but later it just I was like, well, let me switch
Trademark.
up the colors and let me
Yeah.
let me match with the and then later it became like a thing
Yeah.
and then it also made me think of Willie Nelson, and it made me think of hobos, and it made me think of cholos, and it made me think of Guerrero dancers, and it like our culture.
About
those
I think
locals
if there's a
forever.
bandana everywhere, I'm like, this is.
I was about
this
to
is
say-
like a flag.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say
This
blood
is
in,
our
blood
flag.
out.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's a flag
Yeah.
for our people.
Definitivamente. Y qué mejor que sea algo que te identifica.
She's going to come out saying
Realmente.
Texas Sweethearts forever.
Yeah. Oye, Elisa, right now you mentioned hobos. I know there's a story behind that word. I don't know. You want to share it or
Yes,
qué onda?
Well, we would meet a lot of interesting people, and there was this man, and he would call himself a hobo, and I was like, what? I didn't think that was a real thing. I didn't think it was I thought it was just stories from back then, but that was how he lived, and his name was Liberty Justice, and he passed away already. But he was an amazing guitarist, and he had his friend who was named Bill, and he played the upright bass, and they would just travel and play and travel and play, and that's how they lived. And
But you met them here in the
we
valley?
met them. Yeah, they came down to the valley to
Okay.
play here in Donna. They would play here at the
Flea
Donna
Market.
flea markets, and
Wow.
I guess they saw us play. So what do musicians do? Hey, let's jam or come to my show, and so that's what we did. We went to their shows, and by the time you knew it, they started collaborating. We would play together, and they decided to give my mom a hobo name.
So our mom's a hobo.
So our mom's an honorary
Honorary hobo, yeah.
So si un día la corren ustedes del grupo, like if you decide you don't want her in the band, she
She has places to go. She's
she's
gonna
got-
hop on a train.
she's got options.
I do.
But what's your name, Mom? What did they call you?
Nightingale.
Hobo Nightingale.
No,
Nightingale.
Mexican Nightingale.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Mexican,
Something like that.
Hobo Mexican Nightingale, something like. But yeah.
Okay, but
That
So
was
it
a
has
cool
a last
story.
name and everything.
it's complete. Oye, pero you made it sound like if it was some type of initiation, like they were gonna
Yes.
initiate
Yeah,
her.
like,
How does that work?
Getting on the train and jumping off. somewhere.
Just random así.
Yeah,
Oh,
like that's just how they would travel.
I guarantee you all that by the next podcast, Alex is gonna have a hobo name because he's gonna go find out
I'm
something.
gonna go, van a ver. Hey, where's Alex? Allá anda, allá in Wisconsin in
I
un
love
train.
I love
It's
the
a thing.
spirit
They
of
have
it.
festivals and all that.
Like when Mom was talking about how we would go up north.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it. If I had 6 kids and just my husband and I driving all the way to Maine and then all the way to Washington and staying with strangers and like how they did that, I don't know. But it was amazing to, like, we didn't have the money either. How did we travel and go to see Niagara Falls and Mount Rushmore? How did we go see all these places and we didn't have anything? It was just the music. Wherever we would go, my parents would ask, can we play here? One time we even asked to play outside of a Golden Corral and they said yes. And I was like, okay.
Let's jam.
Yeah, they would say yes and we would play wherever we were. We would put a tip jar. They would fill it up and then that was gas, that was food and hotel. Yeah. If we couldn't get a hotel, we would sleep in the Suburban. Yeah. And that's how we would go from one place to another. Yeah, or a rest area. And it was...
Living
I
the
can't believe
life.
that we did that. That my parents were that courageous to take us on the road to do that and for us to
I
experience
thought you were going to
that.
say crazy.
No, both. I still think they're crazy for doing that. I'm like, could I do that? I'd take my kids and just go to Maine. Hey, let's go play anywhere. I don't know how we're going to get money, but let's just take our instruments.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Well,
I can't believe you did that.
I think we as a society in general, we tend to put barriers in our minds.
Yes.
And especially, you guys as women, and especially you growing up back in, los tiempos de antes, especially here in the Valley, donde la mentalidad era bien cerrada, bien machista, where, no, you're a woman, you're going to grow up to get married, and this is going to be your life, te vas a dedicar a la casa. I really respect and admire the fact that you had the open mind to say, no, you know what, I want something different for my kids, different experiences. So, I mean...
That happened to me because when I started singing, playing my guitar, my brother Robert, he loved the fact that I would play the guitar. And if he had a chance, he'd take me to his friends and, like, play a couple of songs.
Play a song.
So my family came down. We have family from Houston, and they came down. And my brother said, hey, the family's down here. Bring your guitar. So I went. And that is the very first time that I noticed my dad give me a stern, mad look. And I didn't understand that because I've always played with him. Yeah. And he gave me that look, and I understood that he was not happy. Yeah. So I finished playing and I excused myself. And I remember going back home and I'm trying to process what just happened. And I remember crying. I put the guitar down. And this was a guitar that my father gave me. I put it down and I just lay on it crying, and it left the tear stains on it. Wow. And later he told me that he doesn't want me playing for anybody. There are estos señores and this and that. That really hurt because I was not ever expecting that from him. It hurt so much.
Puedes pensar que maybe it was him trying to to protect
That's
you?
That's pretty much always been the case, that they want to protect us. Yeah. And we will get hurt, but that is life. Yeah. That is life. And then I was very good at sewing and designing clothes. So when I was in high school, one of my teachers wanted for me to go to Paris. And she said, I have the applications for you, this and that and so forth. I was so happy. I took it to my parents. And Dad said, no. Usted no se va a salir de esta casa al menos que esté casada.
Wow.
And so we have to be careful with our words because our words mean a lot. Our words are literally taken by our children. And that's what happened. I left the house, and I was pregnant with Elisa, and I got my husband and dedicated myself 100% to them. When I did have the opportunity to go work outside, I couldn't do it because I wanted to be the ones to raise them. I wanted to be the ones to see their first steps or their teeth coming out.
Lucky. She was there
I
the whole time.
I wanted to be the one to do that. And when we had my third oldest, my husband said, if you don't want to work, you don't have to enjoy the kids. And so that's what I did, but all along working from home. Because I felt that I have a lot to offer. Claro. So I would teach English in my home, and be there with them and teach people, and I would get that, contact with other people. And so at some point or another, you have to believe that you can do it. And no matter what they told you, music opens up doors. Yeah. And so when we traveled, you guys didn't know it, but I had already people who said, come with us or come to us. We'll have a place for you and so forth. And so I was getting names and until finally we decided, well, maybe we can do it. But I loved my big family. I always wanted a big family. Yeah. And I had my big family. And so I was taking care of my big family. And wherever we went, I was proud of them and I was showing them off.
Right now, Dad takes us everywhere to play.
Yeah, I show them off and I show that I love what I'm doing and that I love my family. Yeah. That's what we were trying to show out there.
Yeah. You have everything. You're rich.
Yeah, rich.
There's a story about two writers. They're book writers. They're successful book writers. And they're chilling somewhere, having a drink. And a billionaire passes by. And one of them goes to the other, hey, check out that guy. That guy, what you and I made in a year with our books, that guy probably makes it in a day. Trying to make that guy look like he has everything. And he's like, yeah. His friend told him, yeah, he does have a lot of money, but I have something he'll never have. And the guy's like, what could you possibly have? Enough. He's like, I do what I love. I'm a writer. I mean, gracias a Dios, I have enough money to eat. So sometimes riches and fortunes aren't measured by money. Yeah. And I think in this case,
I measured them with my children.
Exactly.
I measured it with
I have a lot of admiration for that. Qué bueno. Pues yo les quiero agradecer mucho que se hayan dado la vuelta aquí al Alex MD podcast. This is something had been wanting to do for a while. Have live music y todo. Y gracias por haberlo traído, mi amiga Elisa. Thank you so much for saying yes, for sharing so much of not only your story but your family story. That it turned out way more than what I expected for this podcast.
Well, thank you for
¿Qué les parece si nos despedimos con una canción?
Claro que sí.
Something. Sí. What do y'all want to do? You want to do ranchera, cumbia, or?
Do you remember Mentiras?
Oh, the bolero.
Yeah, I usually say it when we're on stage as well. Estaba para todos los mentirosos.
No hay. Aquí en el Valle no.
That's the second thing I say.
We're very loyal. We're very faithful, very honest.
Ready?
pudiste dejarme. Si tú estabas, ay, pero tan enamorado. Ay, yo no sé, porque me chocan los nervios. Si tú me decías que tu amor era infinito, mentiras, eres un mentiroso. Gran amor tú me fingías, sin pensar que cambiaría. Mentiras, eres un mentiroso, pero te juro, vida mía, que yo de esta me levanto. De acordeón, échale, mija.
¿Te cayó como anillo al dedo?
Nomás oía las pedradas así. I was trying to dodge them all.
No, but like you said, I usually say at the end, no, aquí no hay ningún mentiroso. Not here.
Híjole, qué bárbaros, qué bárbaros. Oye, pues como dicen los concerts, otra. Yo sé que dije que nos íbamos a despedir, pero
te va a llegar el beat.
Sí,
Something upbeat. Something upbeat.
Una cumbia para poder acompañarle a Jesse otra vez.
Mueve el bote.
Ok, raza, con esta canción nos vamos a despedir ahora sí de verdad. A toda la raza que vio este capítulo, muchas gracias a las Texas Sweethearts. Yes. Ahí están sus redes. They can find you guys on Facebook, yes. Instagram, all the social media, right?
TikTok.
Okay. Are you guys as
mostly Facebook?
Okay, and you're as the Texas Sweethearts?
Just Texas Sweethearts.
Texas Sweethearts. That's so, raza, para que la sigan ahí en social media, denles un like, hagan follow, comment, y especialmente para contrataciones, reach out to them. Todo tipo de eventos, right? Weddings, quinceañeras, para que las contraten. Las dejamos con Texas Sweethearts.
Y esta va para todos los papi chulos. Aquí
eso
sí
está
hay. Véngase mi papi chulo, venga vamos a bailar, vamos a mover el bote porque la vida hay que gozar. Muévele, muévele papi, muévele, muévele así, porque tú eres mi daddy y esta cumbia es para ti. Ay, 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 a mover el bote. Ay, 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 a mover el bote. Ay, 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 a mover el bote. Ay, 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 a mover el bote. ¡Epa! Si te vienen a contar las malas de mí, manda a todos a volar, diles que yo no fui. Si te vienen a contar cositas malas de mí, manda a todos a volar, diles que yo no fui. Yo te aseguro que yo no fui. Son los cuentos de por allí, tú me tienes que creer a mí. Yo te aseguro que yo no fui. ¡Órale! La mucura está en el suelo y mamá no puedo con ella. Me la llevo en la cabeza, mamá no puedo con ella. Muchacho, si tú no puedes con esa mucura de agua. Muchacho, si tú no puedes, porque no le hagas a Pedro. Mamá no puedo con ella, mamá no puedo con ella. Es que no puedo con ella, mamá no puedo con ella. ¡Órale!
Muchas gracias.